This is the E-commerce Braintrust, a podcast about building momentum online for established consumer brands. Join our hosts and their expert guests for high-level conversations about e-commerce strategies, trends, and innovations. Access our Braintrust and boost your brand's e-commerce potential.
Hello and welcome to the E-commerce Braintrust. I'm Julie Spear, Head of Retail Marketplace Services at Acadia, alongside my co-host Jordan Ripley, Director of Retail Operations. And today we're back for what I really do count as my favorite episode to record each month. We're back for another round of the Retail Roundup, and we've got our trusty, insightful panelists of Armin and Ross coming back, and we're adding a new voice to the mix this month with Scott Ohsman from the Always Off Brand podcast. We've had you on before, longtime friend, not first-time caller. Welcome to the roundtable.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't been called back in a while.
About a year now.
We said longtime friend. I mean, that.
It was a reason. It was probably a good one, Julie.
We'll save that for another episode. But we're thrilled to have you back, Scott. And July didn't disappoint. We have a lot to dig into. So why don't I jump right in? You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. So July might have been a little bit quiet until like the last week of the month when everything just came to the forefront here. On July 23rd, seemingly out of nowhere, Amazon pulled back their Google Shopping paid search spend. And there has been a lot of chatter about the why. What's the rationale behind this? Where's this going? What's going to happen next? Let's dig in. What's the take? What is everyone seeing here? And what do you think is inspiring this move?
Who goes first?
The boldest. I saw Ross's lip quiver on this for like 30 seconds.
Hanging open and
I
no
just
sound
want to say
coming
for
out.
the record, I posted this on our team at Quickfire, the mighty Quickfire. Kelsey Burkhardt, who runs our paid Google, paid social, she alerted me this on early Monday morning. And I was like, what? And then we verified it, like triple verified it. I'm like, I can't even believe this. I posted it on the Linky. I call LinkedIn the Linky, catching on. And even my daughter was like, dude, you went viral. I'm like, apparently so. This is absolutely shocking. Ross, I do want to hear your take on this because there's a lot of speculation, pontification by talking heads like myself about why this. I still have no idea. Like, why?
On the why front, I think this is a really clear check to see if Amazon can squeeze a lot more EBITDA out of next quarter. Because for sure, that's a big line item. They're the biggest spender on Google. This is a big strategic thing to see. I think it's a test, honestly. They could just be seeing for a little while whether or not this is going to be a big move. But from a performance side, I looked at our whole agency and it's a little bit early to be able to tell. I'm seeing some signs of like conversion rate dropping a bit, ACoS dropping a bit. That's kind of normal attribution period stuff. So it's really early to say that there's a strong impact so far. When I drill into our top 5 accounts, I see no impact to conversion rate, no impact to ACoS so far.
And traffic, I mean, because you'd expect traffic as well, right? Like inbound. I mean, I get the conversion rate of these would be meaningfully different.
A lot of these are vendor accounts, so I'm working on like an even further look back. So I'm not ready to like assess that view yet. But I will say for some of our biggest vendor accounts, zero impact to traffic. They're like Amazon native and relying on Amazon traffic.
So you see it as an EBITDA play. That's an interesting take. I saw a lot of chatter about it being tied to AI and the share of data and not wanting Google to have it anymore. What are people's thoughts on that?
Yeah, with that one. Other friend, Rick Watson, I'm with him on this one. It's AI, it's data control, and probably a negotiation lever with Google. Amazon has this largest catalog in the world, and there's so much data around it. So why give it for free to your top competitors' AI?
So it's still an
another, yeah.
Everything breaks down to margin.
And another like kind of simplistic theory I have is like Amazon always does these A/B tests. Maybe we're just overblowing this, and it's just another test that they've done before. So yeah.
Hey, leave hyperbole and overblowing something to me.
I saw the scowl.
It's a signature move, but this has been a while of a test here. I think something fishy's going on here. Somebody's going to buy somebody. I think it's never just one thing. We never know. But the fact that 2 weeks later, they shut down, they closed the garage door and all the little LLMs, all the little ChatGPT and all the bots coming in, they're creating their own little silo again, which we've seen. And then, but recently, again, we're all wily seasoned veterans here. They said, no, we do it our way. We close out everybody else. But then in the last 3, 4, 5 years with Buy with Prime, with Buy for all the other things, all of a sudden they're going external. I'm just like, are they just going to buy Perplexity? Are they just going to buy Anthropic and just because I don't know. Something fishy's going on. That's too much money.
It's freeing up a lot of cash. It's freeing up a lot.
Again, goes to the EBITDA play.
Yeah. I agree with the fishiness, Scott. I like your conspiratorial vibe here. I assume you're in a basement right now with a lot of red lines connected behind that little stand and repeat. But the timing on this is uncanny. And I don't know if folks saw the news that yesterday, this is in the retail division, but Amazon brokered a deal with the New York Times where they'll pay them $20 million a year to license the entirety of their content to train Amazon's LLMs. I do feel like if we think about it from a media lens, way back in the day, legacy, it was like publisher makes a deal with agency or brand buyer to sell real estate. And now I feel like the new one-to-one deal that will come out is like which publishers are going to make deals with tech companies to license that data. And we're starting to see that it was the first deal that the New York Times has made to license their data, and they did it with Amazon. So I do feel like there's a lot of kind of behind the scenes maneuvering going on here for data licensing, and people don't want to give away something for free.
I know we have many other topics to talk about.
We've got 3 hours, right?
So we do have a hype meter on this, on the roundup that we do each month. So where would we place this? Like, meh, not newsworthy, not impactful. I mean, maybe we split this out. Impactful on the hype meter, we don't know yet. Newsworthy.
Maybe it's a mystery meter.
Again, I know it's hyperbole. I know it's exaggerated. My wife of 32 years says you're such a drama. Like you're just so dramatic about everything. I think this is a massive deal because they own content. The new flywheel, which we all agree is content, advertising, logistics for Amazon, right? And it's like they own so much content. That's how they suck you into the vortex. There's something going on. And we always say, oh, you got to be where the customer is. Well, the customer, it's not mass adoption on these ChatGPTs and everything else, but they got to be where the customer's going to be. Walmart's taking a completely opposite track saying, doors are open. Come and join the party. Like, you want to drive traffic from the, anybody's welcome.
Yeah. You want to fulfill our orders.
Yes. Hey, Sparky is now on, Rover. You can rent Sparky whatever you want. You can just have Sparky. You do what you will.
Well, that makes sense for the life cycle of where these different retailers are. I think the other piece of this is Walmart's in a place where they're like, okay, we're happy to offer things for free to bring more people into the ship. And Amazon is trying to cash in more here. I don't know exactly how, but a few of our brands have raised their hand and said, well, hold on a second. I have a co-op agreement with Amazon that includes Amazon
and
using
funding
Google paid traffic to increase our, and that's part of our agreement. Are they within their rights to go renegotiate or ask for a make good? There's a lot of stuff here. And if Amazon is trying to force brands to do that themselves, instead of that follows the path of retail media development too. It's we'll manage service for you for a while, but then you're on your own.
I'm going to make a call here. We're going to move on.
I don't know what the hype cycle meter is at 1 to 10.
It is.
I mean, I'm putting it at 9 at least.
That's not the dramatic measurement that I would have expected out of you.
10.5?
Yeah, 11. You want a Spinal Tap 11 from
Turn it up to 11. Another old reference no one knows.
And just because I'm a super data nerd, I had to do a quick check, and there has been no drop off in traffic for our whole agency. We're hitting the same level of daily traffic that we normally do.
Yeah, it's us little. So again, we handle all the little peeps, and it's the little peeps that are hurting, because if you have massive consumer demand and they're already on there, I agree. It's a slow burn. I keep checking every day to see if something's changed, and it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Well, so we will put this on for the August roundup to see where the impact is and see where it sits on the hype meter at that point. Last month, there was also the Solution Provider Summit, and we're going to give a shout out to Andrew Hamada on this. Lots of great shares from that summit. And one of the ones that he highlighted was the announcement that brand tailored promos, BTPs, in effective 2026 will be available on the vendor side, which is exciting. We're big fans of BTPs here at Acadia. We've talked about them often. And this being finally open on the vendor side, we get a thumbs up from Scott. This being available on the vendor side is an exciting change. Armin, how do you see this kind of playing out for our vendor brands?
Yeah, first of all, this is very exciting. It makes me happy whenever Amazon makes parity with what we have in Seller Central already. It is a buzzkill that at the same time, like Q1, Q2 next year, like so distant future right now. But yeah, I don't think there will be huge differences in how vendor brands will be using this tool. The only thing that comes to mind is that vendors may want to see if there's any correlations between running these promos and POs they get from Amazon. In general, like vendors may need to do a bit more management as it relates to POs. So scenarios like Amazon issued a large PO, inventory is getting old, maybe it's great to do a new customer acquisition campaign. Or of the opposite side, like if your item is in crap and POs have slowed down, you just don't want to do that re-engagement or customer retention promo. Basically, common sense rules that would apply on any other promos would apply here as well.
So hypometer, Armin, are you going to give us a number?
Maybe 7.
A 7, that will grow to a 10.
Yeah, if it were going to happen in Q4, maybe it would go up to a 9, but the delayed gratification here makes it a challenge.
It might leak ahead of time. The other big thing coming out of the summit, Solution Provider Summit, was this idea of a competitive summary API. So a lot of data points that Amazon will start exposing in the API around pricing specifically, so doing it by ASIN merchant. And I think the coolest thing here, depending on what you find cool, but is the fact that you can do it by location-specific shipping speed, so like a West Coast versus an East Coast, and the impact of that on buy box availability. So all these things that a lot of repricer tools and various SaaS solutions in the industry have scraped for years now, but will start to become available via API. So again, a nerdy update, but I think an important one. Any folks have a take on, like, does this change meaningfully how people sell within the marketplace?
I'll just start by saying, like, I feel like Amazon doesn't want anyone scraping anything off their pages anymore. Yeah. Just go off, go.
I think this is something, again, Ross, I defer to you, but this is something that outside of Amazon is very common and has been going on for a long time. So it's just like, yeah, duh. They're continuing and they're doing it at a very rapid speed. They're putting in the ad tech that most of the world outside of Amazon has already had for many, many years.
Yeah.
On the repricer side, go for it, Russ.
Well, I was going to say, like, it's aligned with there's more and more geo data that's becoming available.
Yeah.
Like, not just in this area, but in terms of sales as well. And that was for vendors. It was completely hidden for so long. You had no sense of it. Only DSP surfaced actual geo-targeting data. It's one of those things that's like the last bastion of Amazon holding back and saying, nah, we're not going to give you that yet. I think they're just letting it free.
Yeah. And we saw this on like search query reports where you can get now ship speed and its impact on conversion rate. So I feel like opening that up for its impact on pricing and buy box is like something that will be important to watch. So yeah, better data availability.
A lot of these, they provide such a small edge in very niche categories at like a certain scale of brand. But once you get to a certain scale, it's like, well, my ship speed is the best all the time. I'm not competing again. It's just not a concern for me to be able to optimize for that.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah,
well, we'll get to that later, Ross. I have a competing opinion on that.
And
well,
I think we should also mention the repricers here. It will change the world for them, right? And they will have to operate differently. And we can definitely expect more accurate pricing and buy box information. The repricer we know now is like prone to mistakes. There can be lags. And when API is there, we'll be getting reliable and timely information, including pricing found at other retailers outside of Amazon, which is pretty cool. And then geo is, I think, the biggest thing here.
Mm-hmm. Let's move over squarely to advertising. And there were a couple updates last month regarding Amazon's ability to advertisers measure and target viewership data for video content on their platform. So the first of them was the ability to now see impression, view, and click data from shoppable Amazon Live streams within AMC. Amazon Live, speaking to developments in very niche areas. Let's get more data to Amazon Live. I don't know. We could discuss more because there was a second update where Amazon is allowing brands to target and retarget audiences based on length of time of a prior OLV video ad. So Ross, you're pro OLV. Your stance on Amazon Live.
I'm anti.
Okay. So talk to me about these two updates.
Put it lightly. Yeah, that's a big thumbs down. No, look, I think it's really interesting that they're adding these feature sets to Amazon Live when they shut down the Amazon Live, the creative studios. It's why are we adding features to what is clearly something that is losing priority? But at the same time, it speaks to the development of Amazon catching up or just finally deciding to allow features that are totally normal in the rest of the video advertising world, which is to retarget these people based on how much of the video that you watched or how much of the content you consumed, as opposed to, because it's a very strong marker of actual engagement or actual interest. I'm all for any development on that front. I would even like them to go further and to allow me to retarget the subset of people that were exposed and looked at any of my display ads for longer than 0.1 microseconds. Give me more features in that realm, please.
I think it's great.
All right, perfect. Let's move on to the next topic.
They own so much streaming content. They're such a early player. They put the stakes in the ground on such other things. My big thing is live sports, which they're now up to 18 different properties, right? I think this is just the evolution of them, back to the EBITDA, getting more revenue and non-endemic, right? They're going after the bigger fish. The non-endemic is where the holy grail is. So this just gives them more power to do that.
The other distinction here that I think is a little bit subtle, but to your point, Ross, is Amazon has tried it, I think ultimately failed at the social commerce element for quite some time of I'm going to be on a PDP. I'm going to watch this video of somebody unboxing this and that. And I will watch that for 2 hours and that'll inform my purchase here. But where they have moved more is on Prime Video, they have now these sort of dedicated shopping channels kind of in the home shopping network. Whether that's successful, I think still TBD. But to me, it's a different thing of I'm going to watch a shopping channel versus I'm trying to cram this social content within PDPs directly. And if that takes off, that's where I could see maybe these AMC signals are interesting of somebody's in an HSN type environment browsing this product and now I can remarket to them. That's a little bit more compelling to me than Scott hawking his fleece pullovers in a live stream. No, I mean, it would be great, but
can I just button this one up? Just buy TikTok US and
that's what I was
over misery. Good God. Just do it already.
Yeah. They don't have the money.
Deepen the partnership with TikTok where people are going for social commerce.
That's why they pulled back on Google. I think we figured it out.
I did actually text someone immediately as my brain was blowing up. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to buy TikTok US?
You texted me that.
Oh, did I text you that?
I texted somebody. Who's to say it?
I was going to claim that idea as my own, but I do now that you've said it. And
I was out of control.
It was either Julie or your daughter after you went.
Honestly, it could have been.
Less splashier, still important changes to the platform. Armin, I feel like we keep hitting you with these very in the weeds operational ones. But I know our team was excited about this one. The idea that you could now enroll in Vine rather than having to wait for products to actually get into FCs. You can have Vine live pre-fulfillment availability. Is this the new default now? Everyone that does Vine just is yep, toggle it on. And once we get product, it's there. How does this change things meaningfully?
Yeah. I mean, not a game changer, but definitely a nice upgrade, I would say. If we look at how brands managed this before and what the process was where you'd send inventory in, it becomes available. And for most brands, the listing goes live at this point as well. So you had an active listing with no reviews, and now you're deciding whether to run ads or not. And the clock is ticking for the honeymoon period. That's roughly the first 2 weeks while the algorithm is learning your product. As you enroll in Vine, when the products become active, it can take up to 2 or 3 weeks from my experience for the first reviews to come in. And for all of them to be collected, I'd say roughly up to 2 months. With this change, I'm expecting a decent number of reviews to come in the first week. And then most of them, if not all, in the first 2 or 3 weeks after. The main benefit here is that a product becomes retail ready faster. And one thing I'd recommend here is delaying your launch date for a week or two after becoming available on FBA, and then going full steam ahead with ads, promos, or whatever your launch strategy is during the actual honeymoon.
That does seem like a big change. If I can launch my product with reviews now, hard launch it, it's still soft launch, right? It's still FBA available, but I don't know. seems worth.
Yeah, maybe 8 to 9 on the hypometer.
On the hype meter?
15 reviews, 8 to 9 on that.
Do you think everyone's on summer vacation, but we've got a lot of hype-worthy updates that happened this past month.
Yeah, increasing the speed to retail readiness is definitely a 9 on the hypometer. Like, so any additional levers there, I'm all for.
Well, I'm going to move on to a topic that will be high on some meter. It's a hot button topic for I know definitely one person here. Scott, this is, I think, what you alluded to earlier with Ross. This is your moment. Let's talk about Amazon's fulfillment centers. And you've been noting a larger breakdown in Amazon logistics and supply chain, recent charges for storage space and capacity limits. This is your moment. Tell us how you're feeling, what you're experiencing. Armin, you will play the role of ops, Zen, guide, and perhaps counselor to Scott.
Thank you. Armin's always been me so many times. He's getting me calmed down. I live in the Seattle metropolitan area, and I order things from Amazon.com. Okay? I have 8 trillion fulfillment centers all around me. Million square foot. I've got the 30,000. I've got everything. I can get stuff typically, depending on what it is, in like 7 minutes, it feels like. I get stuff at 2 a.m. and whatever. The last 3 weeks, I ordered for Prime Day, didn't get here for a week. It was a 1p freaking offer. It was a 1p offer. It took a week and a day to get to me. I just ordered another. I reordered something. I order probably every 3 months. It has taken another week and a half to get to me again. A first party offer. My issue is they've gone from national to regional 2 years ago, and it's still not sorted out. They are still working the system out, and we see it on the vendor side, right? Look at the lean. They want to go back to, do they even want 2 weeks of inventory, or do they want like 7 days? They've tightened that up. They have Amazon Warehouse and Distribution, AWD. They're selling that hot and heavy, and we've been testing it. And you guys, Armin and I have had a lot of discussions on that. It depends. I just think their logistics is still, and then I saw in vendor, they just opened up 3 or 4 new large FCs that they're bringing online. I just think they haven't perfected the sauce. And in major metropolitan areas, you're going to feel this way less. But it's like the prime promise is the prime maybe. I don't know. Calm me down, Armin. What is going on?
Just to give our listeners some context, Scott, I'm a self-proclaimed Amazon seller and vendor-induced trauma specialist today.
He's been trained. He'll send you a support dog.
You know what? You get a 5-star review. I gotta Yelp up for that.
Yeah, my therapy is to increase your D3 vitamin intake, like take some magnesium for muscle relaxation, and then go for long walks to reduce your cortisol levels. That will help a lot. Yeah, it's like pandemic, Amazon builds all these warehouses. There's a lot of space, unused space. And then they're telling you, oh, we don't have space or pay for more and stuff like that, right? I think that the problem is they have room generally, but they don't have the right room at the right places. So it's like metro areas are just over capacity. And then on top of that, add all the kind of labor shenanigans with Amazon. Their just labor force is always churning. And it's causing a mess to an already unsophisticated system that they've built, moving from national to regional. In a mess, they have a few more messes that just kind of not allowing them to optimize for delivery or things like that.
2 more quick things. I know we're up on time here. The capacity monitor, which is absolute joke. Okay. If you look back on the formulaic on how they get to what their capacity monitor is, I don't know who runs that machine, but they need to go back to retail 101 school in inventory management. All of a sudden, I don't buy it. I think they got plenty of capacity. I really do. I think their cross-dock system on a regional system that doesn't make sense. They just haven't sorted out what needs to be where. They have huge automation systems going in. I think it's a hot mess. The capacity monitor drives me crazy because now you want me to spend money to store product. And then lastly, Julie, just the high intensity seasonal items, when your storage fees go from 205% up starting October 1, I'm sorry. We already got margin compression on 7,000 other variables. You're killing me, Smalls. AWD, do I use that? Do I get onto a big 3PL carrier who's moving 30 trucks a day and try to ride their coattails? I sell candy canes, okay? I got like 5 minutes to sell a bazillion candy canes. This is a major issue and it always has been troubling. But now I feel like they're just putting us in a corner. Is that what you wanted? Is that a little more passion?
When I was envisioning the soapbox, that was what I was thinking I would hear.
There you go. You'll probably
you're
all
good.
that out.
And I could see Ross has thoughts. I see the sway in Ross, which is usually accompanying a take as well.
Dead giveaway. I think there's a couple things happening, like with any large system, is like as you add more capacity or more lanes, it fills up with more traffic. That's the great conundrum of like building highways. Like you can't add another lane and improve traffic. It doesn't work. And so they're always adding new FCs and capacity and systems, but that just encourages more throughput. So you end up being in the same place. So I think like fundamentally, there's no solving that problem. But to your point, I also think the system is designed perfectly to weed out the least profitable partners. Like it's done on purpose. There are, for good reason, they're trying to evolve their platform. They're trying to evolve up to the next level. And if Walmart is there to scoop up the scrappier ones that like need more flexibility, then so be it, I think, in Amazon size.
Is it also an EBITDA play, Ross?
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
Their margin is their opportunity. That's never died.
That's right. It's all
That's a great point, Ross. That's a great point. And it makes a lot of sense. It's very logical. I just don't like it because it causes me pain.
I agree.
And you know what? My clients' EBITDA is suffering.
Yes.
And this is where you take Armin's prescription of vitamin D3, some magnesium for relaxation, and go for a nice walk with fresh air, vitamin D from the sun.
I am a walking stereotype. I'm a middle-aged white guy who's just golfing and golfing and golfing now that my kids are gone.
I'll say there's been on this front of things. So as like we have a couple brands that are like big into chips. I remember a few years ago, we were telling this brand that Armin and I worked with, like, you need to put together a multi-pack of chips, a variety pack, because that's what people want. So they did, and they put it in a box. And I know right now that all those little price compression and margin compression things that are happening, soon it won't be in a box, it'll be in a bag because it's just a little bit lighter. And many years ago, if I wanted to buy a bag of a bunch of chips for Halloween, it came in a box, but now it comes in a bag. Those supply chain things take time to spin up. The co-packers take time to get their act together. But that's the pressure that Amazon is putting on the system as a whole. And the product will morph and brands will morph and the options will morph so that people can fulfill and not have EBITDA squeezed.
I'm glad that your final bit of your statement ended with EBITDA. I feel like.
And a note of positivity for the future.
Yeah. We will get there. We will get there. Well, this has been, it lived up to the hype in my brain. Continues to be my favorite episode of each month when we get to come together and talk about what we've all been through in the world of Amazon and what our take is and how it's impacting brands. So thank you, Armin and Ross, as always. Scott, thrilled to have you here and have your hot take and your hyperbole as part of the conversation. Always welcome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you.